5 months ago, we decided that buying a fixer-upper farmhouse would be a good idea. Since then, we've had over 20 videos showing you different things that we've been working on the farmhouse. It's still not livable, but we're excited because things are moving along and the addition has finally got started.
We wanted to be pouring concrete back in September, but we were waiting on plans and engineers and...
Wait a second. We decided to rip out the inside before we had the structural engineer look at it. Then we decided it would be a good idea to make sure we had a structural engineer look at it, get it permitted, and so that just delayed everything with the architecture of the addition and the structural engineering on the addition. So that's kind of our bad, something we learned along the way.
Yeah, we've had a lot of kind of ups and downs and what not to do, because this is not what we normally do. We don't flip houses or completely renovate them like this. It probably would have been easier had we bought a piece of land and started completely from scratch.
We always think we can do anything, and pretty much we can eventually, right? You just keep working at it. So when we first got started, the first thing we did was completely gut the inside. Demo. I feel like we took out buckets and buckets and buckets of house. And it's funny because you spend so much time tearing it all out. And now we're completely rebuilding it because we opened it all up. So Zeb's completely building up the walls. Initially, we thought we would just fur the walls, so we spent quite a bit of time putting furring strips up so we could shiplap and run the electrical. Those weren't needed because now we're rebuilding the walls.
Now we've got all new walls on the interior, which is going to be great because we can properly insulate and run electrical like we need to. So it's worked out. It's been one of those blessings in disguise. We were just trying to avoid that in the beginning.
But we also put some beams in, and then when the structural engineer came in, we took the beams out and we put in new beams.
You know, I've been talking to the contractor and I trust our engineer, but he way overbuilt that building for what I've been putting back in. It's going to be super sturdy.
You know what? It's going to last another 100 years. And more recently, we put a window in, and then now we're going to be taking that window out because when they put in the footings for the foundation, we realized that somehow, somewhere, the measurements were off. Either the architect or whatever, somewhere along the way, and our new wall for the addition is coming smack dab between the new window we just put in. So
yep, instead of having a 3-foot window, we'll have a 1.5-foot window.
We kind of thought we'd be further along by now, so now what we're having to deal with is the cold.
So we've got a mountain of dirt outside from excavating where the renovation footings needed to go, where the foundation is going in, and when they did that, they didn't have anywhere to really put the dirt, and so it's in the front yard and over the top of the shutoff valve for the water. So the water main coming in, I can't turn it off, and the pipes, it got down to about 13 degrees the other night, and the pipes are all frozen in the house. So we've got a heater in there running. Hopefully that'll thaw things out and nothing will break. We use PEX pipe and it's supposed to be pretty resilient against frost.
We're testing it out for you. We'll let you know.
So far, it's done really well. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the whole house water filter that we installed. That is completely frozen solid like a brick, and I don't know if that's going to survive because it's kind of a hard plastic. I don't know if it's as resilient as the PEX piping.
Out of all the oopsies, that one was about $100.
Yeah.
So not as bad as some of the other things that we've had to do a second time. Also, since replacing the water main, it's not as critical that we have the whole house water filter because we don't have old pipes leading into the house anymore.
Yeah, so if it does crack and break, we'll be out $100, which stinks because, you know, when you're budgeting a big project like this, every little bit starts to add up. And we're realizing that really quickly here. We've got to kind of really get frugal with some of our materials, which is why all of the old lumber that used to be up in the top of the roof that we put in, the beams that were too small, we're going to be using those to build the kitchen island.
Waste not, want not, for sure.
Is this gonna be your house or you just gonna sell it?
Oh no, we're putting too much into it to sell it. Okay, so it's the day after the pour, and we still got snow in the shade, but they tented it with these tarps to keep the frost off of it. They're actually more like blankets. They're not your traditional tarp, and then they've got rebar poking up through there so that when we go in to build the foundation wall, that's all tied in together.
So the only pretty room in the house has a toilet that not super functioning right now. Frozen solids. We've got to get heat in here and hopefully save all the plumbing and stuff. These are things I don't think we expected.
I brought my industrial heater from the garage at the house. Hopefully this puts off enough heat that we can get this warmed up. One of the things I think I'm fighting is the ceiling is not insulated, but I also have these two vents right here, and I need to plug those up because those are no longer needed and all my heat is going right out the top of the building.
The biggest thing I think with this whole situation has been, there have been a ton of blessings that have happened. The ability to even purchase this house is only made possible because of the success of our business, which is because of you guys. You watch our channels, you shop at our store, you pray for us, you help us out with ordering on our website. Like, all of those things led up to where we're at now. So even with all of the setbacks and the things going back and forth, I can't be ungrateful for that because this house is literally a dream come true. It's been really fun to work on with Zeb, and I can't wait for 2020 and actually getting to live in this home.
Got to get our hustle on, or we will be into the summer and still be living here.
But there won't be freezing pipes.
There won't be freezing pipes.
We love you guys. Thank you for watching as we work on this farmhouse. We'll keep you posted every week with farmhouse updates. Be sure to give us a thumbs up. Visit JamiRayVintage.com for all your DIY needs, and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY
and farmhouse videos.
the subscribe button.